A breakthrough last night in Congress after weeks of an impasse. Members of the House and Senate came together to finally pass legislation to rein in a huge hike in student loan rates. It's one of a few areas of compromise between the GOP-led House and the Democratic Senate. Joining me now to discuss this live from Washington is the House Majority Leader and Henrico's Congressman Eric Cantor. Thank you for joining me, Congressman.
Ryan, it's good to be on.
Now, explain to me, what made this student loan bill different? How were you able to find common ground?
Well, I tell you, the way that we acted in the House a couple months ago was we really passed a bill that pretty much tracked what the President had been about on the issue of student loans all along. And basically, the aim was to try and keep student loan rates from skyrocketing. It's about putting students first, and we had passed the bill several months ago. Finally, the Senate came around to seeing it our way, and basically it was a way that the President had talked about, and the rates will be in effect and will be able, I think, to offer students an affordable rate going forward.
Now, the next thing that you're working on is proposing a series of bills to stop what you say is government abuse. You'd like to do a number of things, but I want to focus on one particular issue in particular. You'd like to bring an end to taxpayer-funded junkets for federal employees and federal agencies. How would your bill rein this type of practice in?
Well, I mean, right now, in the time of fiscal stress, economic restraint, a lot of working middle-class Virginians and Americans are having difficulty getting through the month. And I think that government policy should reflect that kind of fiscal prudence, and we should put an end to lavish retreats, conferences, and the rest. So what the bill would do, it would essentially require senior agency officials to sign off when there is a planned conference or retreat, so we don't see the type of things that have been on display over the last year. But Ryan, I think one of the other things that's very important about the package of bills dealing with government abuse is the situation at the IRS. I was approached by several people in the Richmond area that are in the 7th District who told me over a year ago that they felt they were being unfairly treated by the IRS. Later, we find out as a country that there has been an effort in terms of targeting certain conservative groups, and they're seeking a tax status under the tax code. And now we're beginning to investigate and find a pattern of abuse. This bill would speak to that and say the IRS shouldn't be doing that, and nor should it be allowed to go into your protected personal health care information under Obamacare.
All right, my last question for you then, Congressman, is can you get this passed through the Senate? Because there's a lot of bills passed on your side of the House that don't make it through the other side. Is this a package that Senate Democrats will agree with?
Well, I'm hoping, because the common sense behind this package, I think, reflects what most working middle-class Virginians and Americans think, that the government works for them and not the other way around, and we ought to start reflecting that sense in terms of being responsible.
All right.